Former Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong said in 2006 that the GRC system helped PAP recruitment efforts by giving potential candidates the assurance of a good chance of winning. I interpret this as open acknowledgement that the coattail effect was intentional and the GRC was intended to enhance the chances of PAP winning at the expense of the opposition. And indeed, it took more than 20 years before the strongest opposition party was able to win a GRC. Such an approach, however, encourages the kiasu or fear to lose syndrome, breeds a generation of politicians sheltered from tough electoral battles, and sets unsustainable expectations. All it took was one electoral loss for Singapore politics to lose some ministers permanently. PAP has said that if voters do not vote for the PAP's team, key ministers will disappear from the cabinet. Such a portrayal attempts to hold voters to ransom. This is unfair on Singaporean voters. It also hampered the political development of Singapore by setting higher and higher hurdles for the opposition parties, which are much weaker compared to the ruling party. The legislative changes on GRC done in 3 stages in the years 1988, 1991, and 1996 saw the percentage of GRC seats rise from 48% in GE 1988 to 74% in GE 1991 to 89% in 1997. In GE 2020, this eased to 85%. Over the years, many MPs in GRCs have vacated their seats for various reasons. Some passed away, some resigned over conduct that compromised their ability to serve as MPs, and others resigned to stand in presidential elections. In each of these cases, no by-election was held to fill these vacancies. This is because by-elections are expressly not required to be called when a vacancy arises in a GRC, unless the entire slate of MPs representing a GRC vacate their seats. The government explained that this is to prevent any individual MP in a GRC from holding the other MPs in the same GRC to ransom. However, this also has the effect of depriving residents in these GRCs of an elected representative in Parliament, which is highly undesirable given our system of representative democracy. Running in a general election is an inherent promise to serve the residents for a term of 5 years. Breaking that promise is not something that should be taken lightly. It is therefore troubling if such broken promises were to occur at regular intervals. As the vacancy would not be filled via a by-election, residents are underserved and underrepresented for the sake of the party's other motivations. Did the party not plan for this expected vacancy when it went into GE 2020? Could it not have informed voters of this possibility or selected its candidate from an SMC so that residents are not underserved? This is analogous to having the terms of a contract changed materially and unilaterally midway through by one party, but the other party remained bound to the contract until expiry. In any other context, this would not have been accepted. If we do not have GRCs, only SMCs, then these problems would not exist.